fish is pushing 15 pounds. Look at that for a fat carp. Sweet. Thanks for filming.
That's all good.
Full of eggs, especially seeing it's winter. So guys, I've just hooked up to a nice slab. Another good winter fish. Oh, and check out those head shakes. You can just tell it's a big winter carp by those head shakes and the lack of runs. And I know there's a snag up there because I got busted off last time with Tom. So I'm gonna try reel him in this way. But those big head shakes just indicate that it's a big winter carp. And it's no small one, so I'll try bring him over to the rocks over there and land him for you guys. Alrighty, so I'm just walking him, or he's walking me, over to the rocks here. I've seen him and he's another fat carp, so like the previous carp I got. I'm not sure about the length yet, haven't seen the full body, just saw his big belly. But now he's sort of woken up and he's staying down deep. But look at that, just check out that weight. This rod I'm using is the heavy rod and he's fighting a lot harder than the other carp that I got on the light rod. I'll try find a nice landing bay. That rock looks alright. And for those who say carp don't fight, just check this out. He's staying down deep just like a mulloway. And he's got big head shakes just like a mulloway. But I reckon he's got a lot more weight than a mulloway for its size anyways. And once again, I was only fishing there for about 5 minutes. And this guy picked up the bait, dropped it, picked up the bait, and I had to set the hook on it. Alright, so I reckon I've tired it out a fair bit now. And as I say that, it starts kicking again. Grab the leader, and I don't want to grab it too tight because if it does that quick head shake, it could pop the hook out. So give the line to her if she needs, but I'll put her in this little gap here and check out the girth on that bad boy, bad girl I should say. Oh, mate. This one's almost 17 pound, I reckon. Far out. Look at that for a cracking carp. Holy crap. That's bigger than the last one for sure. So I've just landed this fish and it's way bigger than that last fish. Holy crap. This could be pushing 20 pound. Spewing, I don't have the scales with me, but I can measure it against my rod. And if it's close to 80 centimeters, I reckon it's close to 20 pound. If not, I'm probably gonna call it 18 pounds because I had to lift him out and oh my goodness, it felt like it was almost 9 kilo. And guys, as you can tell, I'm really excited, so I'm gonna get a few happy snaps with this fella. So as you saw in that footage, that carp kicked and that anal spine cut me. And look at all that blood. So hopefully it doesn't get infected, but that's what the carp did to me when it kicked. But I'm so happy with a fish like that. Really fat chonga. Woo! So there we have it guys, that's 2 fish in 2 different spots and they were both pushing that 15 to 20 pound mark, so that's pretty cool to see. They were both dispatched and thrown in the bushes, buried a little bit so that it creates fertilizer in a couple of months and also reduces the amount of smell that flies through the air. I'm glad you guys saw that, because it just goes to show that carp fishing can be so easy, so much fun, especially in winter where it's miserable and the saltwater fishing is just That fish was the smallest of bites, so if you blinked you would have missed it. I was watching my slack in the line and it just kept twitching like that, and I thought it was a small one, and once it twitched again I'd set the hook and it was just dead weight and big head shake, so I knew it was a big fish instantly. So the big winter fish are so finicky and you just got to keep an eye on the line, and I'm not doing that right now. Oh crap, my rod. I've got my rods back out there. If I don't get anything within 20 minutes at this spot, I'm going to move again and see if I can't pull another fish in a different spot. So stick with us and hopefully we see another big chonga. So guys, I've just hooked up to another really good fish. Judging by the head shakes, it's probably another fat fish because he hasn't gone for a really big run yet. And he's just over there. And look at that, really solid head shakes. Oh, he's a little bit shorter but still really fat. So we'll get this guy in. So I'm in a little bit of a pickle. This line is tangled on this rod, which is the one with the fish. So I'm pretty much fighting the fish on both rods. But I'll walk it over to the rocks over here, just so it's easier to land. No idea how that got tangled, but I'll land the fish. Did I just untangle it? I reckon I did. There we go, untangled. So that rod's clear and I'll land this little fish. When I say little, it's still a cracking size fish for the Torrens. So we just landed the third fish and it's about 55 to 60 centimeters, this one. And once again, nice and fat, not as fat as the last two and not as long as the last two. But this guy had so many little finicky bites. So we'll unhook it and chuck it with the other one. Now, while I've been catching fish today, I've been updating my fans on Facebook and Instagram. So you guys would have seen all these fish I've caught already, but I'm getting a lot of questions asking, where are the carp? You know, whereabouts are they in the river? And my answer to that would be everywhere. So in each little pool between the little narrow streams are where they congregate, and the river's just packed. It's just a matter of whether they'll bite. And when you limit yourself to a bike like I'm doing, it just makes you so much more limited to traveling far distances. I've only been moving probably 100 meters every time I've fished a different pool, and I've done this a lot. I've probably fished 90% of the river below the Torrens Lake in the city, and each individual pool has held fish. So just give it a crack, guys, and I'm sure you'll have some luck. It's quite easy. But some days they just won't bite, but they're always there, so keep that in mind. Now when you're carp fishing, you always want to burley up for them, so I'm just throwing little balls like this, same size as the bait I'm throwing out, and I'm just throwing it out where I'm casting the bait. And I reckon I'm losing movement in my hand because of this cut. That is a bad cut from the carp's anal spine, and it's been throbbing for the past hour, but I reckon I'll be alright as long as the fish play ball and we keep catching them. Yucky crust. Nobody likes the crust, not even the fish. As I say that, the ducks come and eat the crust. Good on you, ducks. That's the only thing they're good for. So I've just hooked up to the first fish in this new spot and the third pool I've fished today, and I've just hooked up to this little Crucian carp, which is a carp hybrid if you've seen my other videos, but that's what they look like. They look similar to a small goldfish with carp colours, and he didn't put up much of a fight, but I'll bring him in now. So there we go. Now he's woken up after he's out the water, and I'm getting bites on this rod too. Oop. So I picked this rod up. Oh, just felt some weight. I reckon there's just full of Crucian carp in here because I've been getting heaps of little bites. I've just hooked up to another one, and this time it had really finicky bites just like the little Crucian, but it's a nice common, or a small common I should say, about 50 centimeters or 45, but he's putting up a nice fight for his size anyways. Not as good as what it would fight like in summer with the warmer water, but not complaining. We're still catching fish. But there we go. Yep, just hooked up to one. Saw the line, oop, and this one's going too. Dropped it. So carp are obviously schooled up fish. I've noticed it in my time fishing anyways. Every time I hook up to one, and I've got a couple more rods out, another carp takes it. So I reckon that's... Oh, there we go. Double hookup. Literally what I was just saying. And it's not the same fish either. I've got two fish. I was literally just saying that they're schooled fish, and that just goes to show that they are. Couldn't have asked for better timing. Seriously, look at that. Two different fish. This one's a fat one, and I don't know how big this one is, but I'll just let him keep running. Oh man, that was ridiculous. Can't believe that just happened. For a second I thought this line was caught on this rod, but another fish took it. So there's a small carp here. Now we know the size of that one, we'll leave him swimming around there. Meanwhile I'll fight this bad boy. See, like I was saying, they don't fight hard in winter. It's only that first initial run. Yeah, I've got the big carp on the small rod and the small carp on the big rod. So like I was saying before, any pool holds fish, and I've just stopped at this one here. I've never fished it before, and it's above where I usually fish, but I've got two fish on two rods fishing on my own. So there's one fish, he's a fat one, and the other one's just a small one out far. So this is going to be difficult, but I'll try to lift this guy up. There we go. That's the first fish, which isn't a bad size. He's about 55 or so. Not a big slab, quite skinny compared to the other fish, but still a nice fish. And I've got the other fish still on the end of my line, so I'll drag them up next to each other. Never seen a carp with such pink cheeks. Oh crap. Oh, that is a fat fish. Oh, look at how fat that fish is. Wow. So that's a double hookup I just had on my own, and it goes to show they're schooled up, like I said. And I'm fishing this new pool that I haven't touched before, and it's just producing fish after fish. So get out there guys, give it a crack, and maybe you could get a double hookup like me. Just look at that though, wow. How's that for a big, fat, chunky carp? once again, about 15 pounds or so, maybe a little bit lighter, 12, 13 pounds. That's 3 big fish today, over 10 pounds, and I was only targeting one over 10. So it's been an unreal day. We've caught a lot of little ones too, and check out the vibrant colours on this girl. Good stuff. So I've just hooked up to the 3rd fish in this pool. Oh, the 4th, sorry, after that double hookup. And this one's a screamer, but I don't reckon it's too big. It might just be a fat carp. But look at him go. And my other rod's in there, so that one might go off as well. I've missed a fair few hits too. So they're definitely congregating in this little area here, so we'll keep at it and I'll land this guy for you. Alright, so I was too busy mucking around and he ended up busting me off on that snag over there. So there's a snag that's just underneath that tree and he busted me off. Had some decent head shakes, but I reckon it was only around 60, but super fat. So we'll rig up another line on this guy and throw him back out. I've just hooked up to another fish, which is the 5th fish I've hooked in here. He went for a nice first run, now he's just dogging it out. It doesn't feel big at all. Don't reckon he's fat either, because he's got a lot of movement in him. There we go. Oh, and this line was just about to go. There it is. Nothing big. I'll get the hooks out and chuck it with the others. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed and learnt a thing or two. We caught about 3 big chongers, which were around 15 to 20 pounds. I reckon one was 13 pounds or something. And we got plenty of little ones too, which was awesome fun. We fished in about 4 different pools. Bloody plane! We fished in about 4 different pools and caught fish in each pool. So it just goes to show that you can stop anywhere that looks fishy and catch fish if you try. So hope that helps and I'll see you next time.